Oh, super exciting. Here we go, folks. I'm so excited to finally start something like this. This is what is going to be the hobby boat. That's the working name right now. We might change that, but I teased on my socials that we bought a boat. It is a 16-foot Grumman aluminum, and it's gonna be my project boat, and it's what I'm gonna be fishing on this coming year. There's some still, as you can see, there's some stuff still left to do in the storage room to get this ready for fishing, but I want to bring you along, show you all the steps that I'm taking. Hopefully, if you're looking to buy an aluminum boat or you got one, you don't know what to do with it, hopefully what I'm doing here can be some kind of help or some lessons learned, because I don't know what I'm really doing. We're just winging it at this point, but hopefully it can be some help for one of you, some lessons to learn. This won't be like a full how to build an aluminum boat. Tiny Boat Nation's great for that, a bunch of other guys, but just kind of bring you along for the ride on how we get a boat ready for the season. And before anything else, if we flip this camera real quick, as you can see, it's still snowing here in Massachusetts, which means we got plenty of time to work on this boat. So I've worked on a few things here just to start getting the project started. But today, let's just talk about the boat itself and why I got it. If you've been watching my YouTube channel or my social media stuff, Hobbyist fishing everywhere, you've seen me fishing my 15-foot inflatable. I ran it off a trolling motor, it inflates off the battery. Super simple, super easy to get on the water. And I love that thing. We're not selling it, trust me. But I always wanted a bigger boat. You know, I wanted to be able to show you more about electronics. For me and my girlfriend, we just wanted more space, because when we fish in the inflatable, it's like a kayak. So in order for us to both fit, we both have to sit in tandem, and it got kind of boring, like looking at our back all day while we fished. So, you know, having an actual boat allows us to spread out a bit more, allows us to like sit down, have a lunch together without just me looking at them at her back all day. So big reasons why I wanted to get a bigger boat. Plus, you know me, we love cool stuff. And stick around till the end of the video, because I'll tell you how much I paid for everything that's in this garage right now. And you won't even guess how much I paid. It's an insane number. So first, why an aluminum boat? A few different things, right? I was looking at getting like a proper bass boat, but they're expensive. I don't want to spend too much money on this, right? I always want to do minimum amount of money I can spend to get the maximum output. So I kind of asked around online, on my Instagram, and people were saying, get at least a 16-foot. You'll be so happy with that. So, okay, cool. I'll look for a 16-foot. And then if you notice, the boat here is a V hull, right? So it's a very tight V. It's a very sharp V. Few reasons for that. One, I did have a flat bottom John boat, a 12-footer for a little bit, and I hated it because it's so shallow that, like, if I was standing on the front trying to cast, I would look over and the water was like right up to the edge, and I didn't want to take on water because that's the worst. So I wanted something a little deeper, a lot more stable, so I'm not in fear of taking on water constantly. And really, it's a modified V. The front of it's a V, the back of it's still pretty flat. It has a little bit of a concave. 16-foot deep V, so I'm not in trouble of taking on water, but also was a V hull versus a flat hull. In a V hull, when the wind blows, your boat's not gonna get spun around as much. It's still an aluminum, so it's pretty light, so it will get spun around a bit, but way less than a John boat that has a flat bottom. The thing about my inflatable that I hated was when we fish in windy days, we're getting spun around everywhere, right? And I didn't want to deal with that anymore too much. So the deep V allows us to be stable. If we take on waves, it's cutting through the waves instead of bouncing over them, and also not spinning around in the wind. Let's hop into the boat. Let me see if I can do this. Are you facing the boat right now? Oh, that's a sick angle. All right, wait, I need to connect my phone so I can control my focus from my phone. This is the inside of the boat. Now, I got super lucky, right? Think about what you think I paid for this boat, because I'll reveal it at the end, but this is the boat. The guy that had it before me really wanted to turn this boat into his own project boat. So he put a lot of work in it. He repainted the outside, he resealed everything. Like, as you can see, this thing is clean. This is a 1983 Grumman aluminum V hull. For a boat from 1983, this thing looks so clean. Not a sign of rust in here. But the big thing is, if you notice, there's all these aluminum bars. That's the hard part. He welded these parts together and has built the ribs of this boat. And he actually did a lot, right? So let's start from up here in the front, right? So if you can see this right here, this is the casting deck. You're pretty much, from where you're looking at me from, you're on the front of the boat right now. So this is kind of V-shaped here. A piece of wood's gonna go on top of that. I'm gonna make some latches for the boat, but essentially what we'll have is this will become our casting deck. The man built a live well. He designed this boat to have a live well. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna actually end up using it as a live well. I might just end up using it as a cooler for drinks, or extra storage, but the pump is in there. It has piping all the way to the back into the bilge for that water to spit it out the back. It has all the parts for a live well built into it. Then we come back here. This is gonna be a ground, so this will be just a flat piece of board here. That just will be middle area just to sit. And then here, back here, you see these two tubs. These will be our benches. So I'm gonna have pretty much 2 seats. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a third. Usually just 2 of us fishing, and if anyone does come fishing with me, they can sit on the front. But 2 bins that are gonna have wood go on top of them, and it's a good amount of storage here. They're just plastic tubs, so we can put tackle in there, whatever we need to store, goes all in there. And then into the back, we're actually gonna have a back casting deck. So for whoever's fishing with me on the back, they can stand and cast as well. So this part right here, and then the back will be empty for my batteries. Because the storage doesn't have plugs, I'm going to have to take my batteries home every time I get off the water, just to charge them at home. But it has a place for a transom, has a place for an outboard to put that motor on, has a battery tray for a battery. And if you've kind of been looking inside, there's this big pipe of PVC running through this whole thing. That's really crazy. I didn't realize it, and it goes all the way to the front. The reason why is there's a bunch of string in there. So later, once I'm ready to wire up this boat to actually fish it, I just have to tie the string to these pipes and run it all the way through into the back. So I don't have to feed the wire through it and hope I make it to the back. But it already has pipe for the line, it already has pipe built in for the electrical, which is crazy. I think the only things left that I'm gonna do is actually, I'm gonna buy some closed cell foam, put some foam in the sides here to make sure it's a little bit more floating in case you take on water, but it's also designed for an area for a bilge pump so I can pump out water from the back. But that's kind of the general layout. It's gonna be pretty simple, right? I am thinking about doing a rod locker, but I don't know if I'm gonna have the space for it. I might just have to put them on the deck, but that's a conversation for a later time. So pretty simple, back casting deck, seating, floor, front casting deck, in a 16-foot boat, and it's a pretty wide amount of space. However, the one big part of this project that we're gonna have to figure out is actually building a steering mount. I'm gonna show you the motor in a bit, but I got a motor that's designed to not be a tiller, to be a steering wheel. And I can't even get back there. I even got the controls, the steering wheel and the wires to control that motor. I need to build a console. I need to get a console for this boat. That's the one little project we're gonna have to work on, but we're gonna put it right here. It's gonna be a side console so I can drive this thing from the front, which will be really cool. But that will turn it really into like a proper bass boat. I'm thinking electronic on the console, of course, one on the front. We're getting forward-facing sonar. I don't care about your arguments of what you think that means, but I'm getting some live scope because I want to catch some big ones. I have to kind of IKEA furniture the rest of it back together, but that shouldn't take too much. I mean, just the bars itself is plenty of work, right? Putting these bars together is so much, and I'm so grateful that this guy was willing to part with it at the price that he did and allow me to buy it. But that price reveal is coming towards the end. But while we're here, let's also talk about the things that I got with the boat. So one of the things I got with the boat, which is really huge, was a motor. This is a 1999 Force by Mercury, 40 horsepower motor. It runs, we checked it. I checked it with the guy. It just needs to be installed. And yes, I already read online that Force doesn't have the best reputation, but the guy kept good care of it. It's an older model, so 1999, the last year they were in production. So hopefully that means it's not gonna die on me. It's a 2-stroke, so hopefully I can learn how to fix this motor myself. As you can see, I need to build a steering wheel. It's not a tiller. For a motor that's as old as I am, it's looking pretty good. He redid the oil, he's worked through it. Like I said, the thing runs pretty good. It's just a matter of upkeep on it. But everything, at least in terms of what I found on, at least in terms of the things online that I found that may be an issue with this motor, I've checked and it looks pretty good. Everything looks pretty clean, but that's the motor itself. It's a little bit of a mess in here, so apologies. As you can see, there's some plywood here. Now, these are the plywoods I kind of worked on already. We're just coating them to seal them, but there's plywood up here that's already been sealed. And also, might I say, already cut. Like, see, when I was showing you the live well, these are the hatches that he designed for it. It's already put together pretty good, if you ask me. I also have seats back there. He gave me 4 like cushion seats for this boat. I've got a 55 pound thrust Minn Kota edge in the back. That's gonna be my front trolling motor. And then I've got this big bundle of carpet. Actually, I just like literally, it's such fresh carpet that I still have the Home Depot receipt that was attached to it. This was a indoor-outdoor texture marine carpet that already came with the boat. So, and also let's not forget, and as you can see, comes with a trailer. The trailer looks really good. It's not rusted anywhere. It's pretty new. It's already registered. It has plugs for brake lights. The brake lights work. And if you've been following along this journey, you know that I bought a Tacoma. And I bought the Tacoma knowing that I wanted to get a boat in the future. And, you know, partly the reason why I got an aluminum is because, you know, a Tacoma is not the biggest truck. A Tundra could pull a bass boat probably pretty easily, but because I'm a little taco, you know, my max load is 5,000. Of course, this is not gonna go anywhere near 5,000. I feel pretty safe. So that's pretty much everything I got with, oh, and a boat cover. I also got a boat cover. So that's pretty much what I got with the boat itself. So time for your guesses. For the trailer, the boat, the motor, the plywood, the rigging inside, the seats in the back, the carpet. If you haven't made your guess yet, if you haven't made your bets yet, leave them in the comments below. I bought this whole setup for $2,000. That's a crazy, that literally, I'm gonna explain to you what the series of events that happened. I didn't rent this garage yet. I saw the post on Facebook Marketplace. It said 2,000. I saw where it was. It was a 20-minute drive from me, and just got straight in the car. And I texted the guy. and said, "Hey, are you available? Can I come by and see it?" Went to see it. Checked if the motor turned on. Checked how everything looked. And then I said, "Hey, I want to buy the boat. But before I pay you, I need to call a storage facility that I've been eyeing in my area so I have a place to put this boat because I don't have a garage. This is my garage." So then literally was like, "Give me a second." Got back in my car, called the place, said, "Hey, it's still available." Put the money down to get the storage, went back out, Venmo'd him the money. Well, not Venmo'd, I Zelled him. Zelled him the money, and then bought the boat from him that day. $2,000. I don't care if this motor's crappy. I don't care. I can buy a new motor or used one. But for $2,000, are you kidding me? And just having to put the wood in there is a crazy deal. So I did let him know that I'd make videos. I said, "Hey, I'm gonna take some good care of this thing. You're gonna see where it goes online. I'm gonna make a lot of videos on it and share it with all of you." But this is the first part of the build. We have it. I'm showing it off to you. We're starting to do some work, which you'll see in the next few clips. We just started doing some stuff on it, like the plywood that we're gonna have to end up using. We're just treating it right now so it's waterproof. I tried carpeting a little bit, but we've started it. So this is part 1 of my 0 to 100 bass boat journey, and then we'll lead into a whole bunch of fishing. But I'm so excited to be able to share this with you all in this way. What was nice is that most of the plywood that the guy had cut for this boat was already pre-treated. As you can see, it's kind of glossy, it was epoxy. So all I really need to do for these is just carpet them. So really all I need to do is put some glue on here, put this on there, and then staple it together. For the glue, I got a few of these Ultra Bond Eco 20 adhesives for textiles. So we're gonna spray this on, slide this on with the scraper tool, and then we're gonna flip it over onto the carpet and then press it in, and while it's still wet, we're gonna tighten it up and then staple it in. I don't know anything about this stuff. I'm just going off what I read online. That seems about enough glue for this. Maybe not, actually. Oh no. I think I might have nailed that glue job. So a nice thin layer of glue on there. Gonna lay down this carpet. I don't need too much of it. And I'm gonna use this flat side first. Take the contact adhesive, make sure there's plenty of room all around it for when I fold it up. At least a few inches, I think. Like that. Make sure it's good. I have to cut off a bit more excess here. So like that much. And get this as tight as I can. Trim up some more of this excess here. There we go. But there's the first piece done. So the reason why I wanted to get that one done first is because this is going up here and it's going to be bolted in. This is going to be for the trolling motor to sit on. So want to get that piece in first, but hey, not a half pad carpet job if you ask me. So while most of the wood was pre-treated by the guy, some of this extra plywood that I have to still cut for the remaining parts of the boat haven't been. So all we're gonna do here is take some of this. It's like deck waterproofer, just clear. All we're doing is literally pouring a bit on and then just making sure we coat this whole thing really nice and evenly. And when we cut it, all the edges here will also clean up. So we make sure this wood is nice and watertight and it's not gonna take a bunch of water as we fish in it. And also, besides the boat journey, if you don't care about my boat, what this really also means is that this year, the big thing was filming on the water content was my old inflatable, was that you're just, I didn't have much range of motion. So the videos didn't really come out that nice. It was just chest cam video footage and just me casting, right? But this year, with the boat, I'm gonna have my GoPro set up in the back somewhere so you can watch me on the casting deck, so I can turn around and look at all of you in the face and say, hey, this is what we're seeing, this is what I'm fishing, this is how we're fishing it, and being able to really bring some elevated on the water content for you. That's probably, the boat's really nice, super excited to have a boat, but more excitingly is the opportunity that even just having a casting deck allows me to share with you in terms of bass fishing and fishing in general, and allows me to teach you in such more an effective way when I'm on the water. But again, thank you so much. If you've just seen me for the first time, check me out, hobbyist_fishing. I do a lot of daily content about different bass fishing techniques on my Instagram, on my TikTok, so you can follow me there. If you follow me there and you follow me here now, thank you so much for finding me here. I know I've been lacking on the YouTube. Like I said, the YouTube stuff is coming a lot more heavy this year in 2026. But also now, let's get to what I was working on before I, started talking about the boat.